Welcome to week 6, class. This is your professor here with an update on some of the projects and assignments that you're working on for this week and beyond, and a couple of comments on Medicaid and Medicare. So let me get my paperwork here. Alright, so first let's talk about the quiz. So we had quiz 2 this past week, and there were 2 questions that I just wanted to touch on that people struggled a little bit with. One is question 2. The question was getting at what a means test is, and basically that was in the reading. And we talked about how certain entitlement programs you have to be your means, or what you own and have to survive, are tested. So essentially, a means test is to say I am in enough poverty that I qualify for this benefit. So that is the case with SSI, GA welfare, and TANF. All 3 of those you have to basically prove to the state or to whoever's issuing them, the county in some cases, that you have essentially nothing or very little. The correct answer is SSD, where you do not. It is not a means tested program. It is essentially based on how much you pay into the system. So if you are employed for a number of years before you become disabled, you pay Social Security disability insurance, and depending on how much you pay and how many years you work, you qualify for those benefits if you become disabled, regardless in most cases on what your current means of survival are. So you don't necessarily have to be in complete poverty to qualify for SSD benefits. It comes more down to how much you paid into the system. The other question was pretty straightforward. I'm not sure why so many people got it wrong. Question 7 just was very straightforward question about how long the trial work period lasted, and it's 9 months. So if anyone has questions about that, let me know about either of those 2 or any of the questions related to the quiz. So this week, your forums, I want to talk about those. I continue to be really impressed with you guys and the way you answer your forums every week. You're the best class I've had so far as a professor in terms of the quality of postings on a consistent basis from week to week from just about everyone. So this week it'll be slightly different. So a few weeks ago I released some info about your family project, and you're going to start talking a little bit about your family this week in one of your forums. So this week I want to clarify, I did the best I can to explain it in the forum, but so you're going to be sort of working in groups, but you're going to be discussing your family in your group. You're not going to be composing one post as a group. So this is how it's going to work. I basically want you guys to look at your family descriptions, and I've revised them a little bit, so download the most recent version at the top of the main Moodle page in the folder labeled team-based family project, I think it's called. So go in there, find your family, it should be 1 of 4, and download it and read it, and then look at the info about Medicaid and Medicare this week, and talk about how Medicaid and Medicare services relate to your family. So instead of creating your own post where you'll do this, you'll go into your group post. I made 4 forums. I made 4 posts basically to kind of start the discussion and say group 1 post here. So one person from group 1 may come in today and post a little bit, be like, oh, it's interesting that this person doesn't have Social Security. I think we might recommend that they apply, or something to that effect, and then the rest of the group members would come in and talk about sort of what they see as if they were working with their family, with this family, how would they be counseling them in terms of Medicaid and Medicare. Some families might have a lot of info about those services, and some may not. And for the ones that don't have a lot, speculate as to why that might be. So talk about your family and talk about how they might relate to Medicaid and Medicare, and try and get every family member, if possible, at least in your discussion. So that's where you'll make your original post between today and Thursday, and then over the weekend you'll sort of do what you normally do. You'll, instead of commenting on 2 others, again, because we're only going to have 4 potential places to comment, and you're doing the majority of your work in your own group, over the weekend you'll go to one other family and post a comment there. So you don't have to do the normal 2 follow-up posts this week, just 1. Next, agency visit. I debated about this a little bit, but I do want to just check in with people to see where they're plan on, what agency they plan on visiting. Some people have already sent me emails and I've approved the type of agency. Some people that haven't, please do that this week. There's a little note in that on the content for this week when I release it. So send me an email. I prefer you send me a normal quote-unquote email to my email address at Rutgers. It's MALENCDE at rutgers.edu. I will still get it if you send it through the Moodle course email. It's just my preference that you send it the other way. Forums. Oh, one thing I wanted to talk about the forums. For some reason, I've been grading the, haven't been commenting in the resource forum. So this week I did all of my commenting, at least initial comments, by Friday for each person that had posted by then. But I totally neglected the county resource forum. So in the event that there's something I need more and I ask about it today, please reply. It's not going to be considered late because I'm just getting to it on Monday. It just totally slipped my mind, to be honest with you. So moving forward, I will also comment on those if needed. If you don't see a comment from me in the community resource forum, assume that you submitted the correct info. I'm really only commenting in places where I need some more clarification, or if there's a question, or if the person just has the wrong resource. Just a quick note on Medicare and Medicaid for this week. I don't have a lot to talk about. I think most of the content outlined in the lesson for this week is, really what's important. I will say that in the places where you're interning and most of the social service agencies in and around our area, Medicaid is more of the focus with adults with severe and persistent mental illness in terms of the agencies that you work with or the agencies that the people you serve are affiliated with. They don't tend to bill Medicare for mental health rehab services. So for instance, you can't, a day program can't be reimbursed by Medicare. It's just not a covered expense, whereas somebody that has Medicaid would be billed. So although it's important to learn about Medicare because it really impacts people with SSD, very much so, the focus really for most of your guys in your early careers is going to be Medicaid compliance, getting people that you work with on Medicaid, keeping their Medicaid benefits, helping them if they lose their benefits, making sure that everyone that qualifies for Medicaid is on Medicaid. These will be gentle reminders that your agencies will probably have you checking up on with the people that you case manage. The thought being that if people deserve Medicaid, usually it saves them money. There are very few cases when I would suggest against somebody going on if they qualify. But it also is a big revenue source for the agencies that you work in. So just a quick note on that, just to say, we are kind of giving Medicaid and Medicare equal play this week, but moving forward you'll probably see a lot more discussion about Medicaid in the internships and the places where you end up working after this place. That's all I have for this week. Send me any emails if you have any questions. Great seeing you. Take care.